Hi everyone, and thanks for getting back to our channel. In this video today, we will provide a detailed overview of the Zapier Integration Addon for Moneyman's Calendar. We'll also create a new Zap to better acquaint ourselves with how Zapier works. And after installing and activating the Zapier Integration Addon, which at the time of recording is at version 2.1.5, you must head to MEC Settings and click on the newly added Zapier Integration option under the General tab. In this menu, we have two APIs, API version 1 and 2, and the API key, which is the same for both. The API URLs are different, but we prefer to use API version 2 or V2. We also have a few options that the user can customize according to their liking, such as max attendees, max tickets, max event occurrence, and max terms. The user can determine the quantity of data sent to Zapier from MEC by tweaking these options. For example, if the user has 10 repeat instances of the same event, they can change the max event occurrences field to 3 so that only 3 instances are sent to Zapier. The user has free reign here, so it all depends on your unique situation. In order to create a Zap, we'll first need to create an account on Zapier. The account can be created with your email or more quickly with your Google account. Zapier has offered some info on what you can achieve with it on the main page. If you scroll further down, you'll see that it integrates with more than 7,000 apps. So we can use all these apps' actions for the Zaps we create. However, since MEC works based on events, we need to make sure that the Zap we use in our action can retrieve event data or not. So if it is, then we'll be able to use those apps in the Zap we create. After we log into our account on Zapier, we're greeted with this page. We can either hit the big orange Zap button or head to the Zap menu and click on Create Zap. All your previously created Zaps can be viewed and configured from this menu right there. Let's create a new Zap. Every Zap requires 2 factors to function. One is a trigger, the other an action. A handy feature recently added by Zapier is that using the Copilot AI assistant, you can describe the type of Zap you need. You'll describe the trigger and action needed, and depending on your command, it will create a Zap for you, which you can even modify later on. But for the purposes of this video, we'll create a new Zap manually. So let's choose a trigger first. Our trigger must always be related to MEC. Type MEC in the search bar and choose it as our trigger. Now, on to configuring it in the right side menu. We'll need to select the trigger event for it, and it has listed many event triggers for us. Cancel event, event occurrences, listed event, modify event, new booking, new event. I'll go with new booking for now for this one. Next step, you'll need to connect your MEC account to Zapier. If you've previously connected it, you can simply reconnect, but if not, you'll need to sign in first. On the pop-up, it's asking us for a URL and API key, which are the same ones in our MEC calendar setting. Let's copy the API URL and paste it into the pop-up, and then do the same for the API key. Click and connect. Now, our Zap is connected to MEC. If you decide to use a different account, you can hit change or reconnect to go through the process again. Click on continue. Here you can choose the event IDs you need. Here we determine which events the new bookings are pulled from. If our event ID has been entered before, it will be listed here for easy access. If left empty, it will retrieve new bookings from any event on our site. I'll leave it empty and head to the next step. In this step, we need to test the trigger, and it lists the last booking that was made on MEC. If we click on it, it'll expand, displaying more information about this booking. Booking ID, event title, payment gateways, etc. So click and continue. Then the next step, we need to select an action, meaning where do you want to store this booking data that has been retrieved from MEC? Interesting question. I'll choose Google Sheets for this demonstration and want a new row to be added for each new booking that gets made on MEC. I'll choose Create Spreadsheet Row from the Action Event option so that a new row is created for each booking. Next, you'll need to connect your Google account. If you've previously connected it, like in the last step I talked to you about it, then you can reconnect or change it. I will connect my Gmail to the action. As you can see, I have the option to change it like before. At this particular stage, we need to choose a drive. I'll choose my Google Drive, quick point. It's important that you have a spreadsheet created beforehand on your drive to store the booking data, so it's very important. I've created two sheets on this document, one without column titles and one with titles. I'll explain in a bit why it's important to do this. In the next field, you'll choose the spreadsheet file. In the next option, we can select the two sheets I've created. Sheet 1 had titles for the data, while Sheet 2 did not. So, when Sheet 2 is selected, you're given this warning that there are no headers in the sheet, so it's unclear what new data should be pulled. But if we select Sheet 1, it asks us for data for each of the headers I created. So, without column headers, it's unclear what data ought to be retrieved, but with headers, it asks me that data should be pulled from each header. I'll choose the type of data I want for each field accordingly, like event ID. Next is event title, booking name, booking email, booking data, booking price, the start and end date, and transaction ID, which you can more easily select via the search bar. Lastly, the confirmation status. After you've specified the type of data that needs to be pulled, hit continue. On this page, you're greeted with a preview of how each spreadsheet row will look like, according to the chosen data variables. Hit Test Step to see how it looks with our existing booking. Even now, if we head to our spreadsheet, you can see that Zapier has pulled the data for the booking and added it to our document. Under each header, there is data that has been transferred successfully. Now, we can confidently publish our Zap. Let's wait a bit. Success! Our new Zap is live. With this Zap published, each booking made on MEC will be pulled by Zapier, and a new row will be added to our Google Sheet, which is incredibly useful for organizers that don't want to constantly monitor their WordPress backend. Before I forget, there is one last step. Make sure to head to the Zap menu and toggle the status for our Zap by turning it on. So, in summary, using Zapier integration, the Zap we created will retrieve any booking from MEC and add it to Google Sheet. There are many different kinds of Zaps you can generate, but remember, the trigger needs to be related to MEC, but the actions can vary. This ultimately depends on whether the action we want to choose can even retrieve the data or not. If it does, then the Zap will be successful. Otherwise, the action cannot take place. Hope this overview of what the Zapier integration does has been helpful. And I look forward to reading your comments about what useful Zaps you want to create using this add-on in the comment section. Thanks for staying with us until the end of the video. See you in the next video.